A very underrated hero at the moment is the Fae. She has fantastic combo potential, support potential, and just playmaking ability. This build here that you are going to see today and guide is meant to kind of be a more team focused, helpful, but also deal some pretty good damage as well kind of build for the Fae that kind of really puts her usefulness with the team. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hero Building Guide. I am Sylphin. So in this match here, you're seeing me play the Fae in the off lane, which it works really well. She is a fairly good counter, believe it or not, to Morigesh. In the mid lane, she's a good counter to. She works well in a lot of different areas, even as a support in the mid lane or in the off lane. Really, I chose her in the off lane as I really wanted to play her, but against a Fae and another Fae and a Sparrow in this lane, I thought I would be able to do work. So we start off in the white jungles here, trying to clear them out, therefore getting our right click, which is very, very good. Our right click is our Untamed Growth. Pardon me. It deals a lot of damage, 1.25 power scaling, anywhere from 100 damage here in this early game to 280 damage in the late game. What you have to know though is when you put it down, only 50% of the damage is dealt over the span of the ability, and then the other 50% is dealt as it explodes. So as you can see there, boom, it kind of explodes at the end. That's 50% of the damage. So you have to make sure that if you want to deal all of its damage, you want to put it in a spot that the enemy has to stay in there and kind of explodes. Now the second ability that I am getting here in the off lane, obviously if you're in the safe lane, you want your Bramble Patch, which is what we're going to talk about next. I get the Harvest Nettles here in this off lane, her E ability. What this is a long range, very long range poke ability that refunds its entire mana cost if you hit an enemy. If you manage to hit an enemy, it's a free ability, straight up free ability that you can use at your own free will. So here you can see I am poking at this Sparrow that's choosing to just stand there because I know that I can wear down her health potion and eventually get there. As I can see, there's no circlet of health. That's what I choose to get, just so I can harass my laner, and you can do that yourself very, very well. Now, if you're gonna miss it a lot, be very careful, as it will drain your mana. Now the last ability here that I get is the Q. It would have come in very handy here, as unfortunately I don't have it, and I can't do very much, as I don't even notice that my Chimera there kind of dies very easily. So very much my bad there. I don't have Bramble Patch, which is our Q, the last ability that you're going to see me get here. What this does is it puts down a line of brambles in a straight line that slows the enemy for kind of micro slows. Whenever the enemy is touching the Bramble Patch, they get a slow for about a half a second, something like that. It's a micro slow. But they have to get out of that patch, so it takes them a little while. It slows down the enemy tremendously and is a great zoning tool. What you should be doing is using your Bramble Patch to slow the enemy as they are trying to get out of your Untamed Growth, your right click. So you can use your Bramble Patch to slow them while your AoE ability is ticking off, and then it explodes on your slowed enemy. Now here I choose to upgrade my right click just because I really want to push these waves back as much as I can. I want to defend my tower. I really love defending really strongly defending my tower in the off lane. So I upgrade the right click, our Untamed Growth twice here in this early game, just so that it does quite a bit of damage. Level 1 deals 100, level 2 deals 160, so 60% increase. That's fairly well. Now, as you can see here, I'm always harassing this duo with my E, with that long range ability. Just have to really get used to how it works. You can see there, I actually missed, and I had to eat that mana cost. Now, her ultimate is Fly Trap. It's absolutely incredible. 0.9375 power scaling, dealing 200 to 350 damage. It's pretty darn good with a good mana cost. Now, you can see it here as it pulls the Sparrow back into the tower range. Unfortunately, not much happens. That was a whiff on my part, because there is great potential with the Fae's ultimate. What you do is you put the ultimate down, you put your right-click Untamed Growth right on top of your ultimate, since your ultimate is going to pull all of the enemies into that central spot, which is what your Untamed Growth is sitting on. And then you use your Bramble Patch, which you can see the enemy team's Fae is using. As you can see, that micro slow. I use it as a complete fail of a use, but it actually ends up, I guess, hitting on that Sparrow, which I guess does help this Chimera. But you use your Bramble Patch to then slow all of the enemies that are then pulled by your ultimate into the middle. And then your Untamed Growth explodes and deals a lot of damage on all of those enemies that have been pulled up. So it's actually really quite interesting, the combo potential that Fae has within all of her abilities. So here's a bit of a gank that I definitely could have done a better job of. I missed my E, and then I used my Bramble Patch here in the wrong spot. So I should have used my Bramble Patch here more in this direction up here, kind of cutting off the Bellica up here. What I would have done is obviously slowed her in here, so that maybe my Untamed Growth would have actually hit her. What I do though is I still keep harassing her. I use my ultimate, and the Gideon gets the kill anyways. Would have pulled her back, would have been able to damage her and finish her off. Now, in terms of cards here, I'm going fairly strange in that I'm actually getting my Quenching Scales first. Why did I get my Quenching Scales and upgrade it fully? Simply because I wanted that mana regen. I wanted that mana regen in the off lane, and then that one time I went to the mid lane. I simply wanted that mana regen, and it's going to help my team in the support department. So I'm choosing to be a little bit stranger, getting the Quenching Scales. Obviously, as a support, you want your ward first and then your Quenching Scales. But either way, Quenching Scales is a fantastic card that does an AoE heal and grants basic armor to nearby allies for 20 seconds. So fantastic card that absolutely the Fae needs. Now, a small little tip with their Harvest Nettles, you can actually use it to animation cancel, which you just saw just there. A little bit hard to see, but you basic attack into a quick E into another basic attack. Very nice burst that you see me do right there. Very, very quick. You can do it very quick all of a sudden for a nice burst on the enemy. Now, the next couple of cards here you can see is our Ward and our Burst Engine. Burst Engine, fantastic card for a little wee bit of mana regen, which I much prefer over mana and power. So the Sage's Ward for a whole bunch of damage, and the Burst Engine for some power and a little bit of mana regen. Now, I'm pretty sneaky and I pull something off here. I see that the Sparrow is actually really low from doing Raptors, so I engage. Ultimate into my right click, but she dies anyway. So I actually miss my ultimate, believe it or not, but I get her anyways with a right click instant E. So you have to be careful with using your ultimate, because it's a little bit strange. Honestly, it's a little bit strange. There's a bit of a travel distance. There's a bit of a travel time between when you actually use the ability and when it actually lands and latches onto people. You just have to be careful. You can see that I used the quenching scales there. Maybe it actually did work there on the Richter, but no, he just used it, so that wouldn't have been able to have been used. So I used the quenching scales to save my life. So good. Such a good card here that you can really use to not only just save yourself, but also just help out your teammates. That wombo combo potential, ultimate into right click into your Q, is so good to really do a lot of damage. Now I want you to see this fantastic engagement. The power of your ultimate right click and Q. I use the Q here just to make sure that this rampage doesn't go in there, but watch this. You can see my right click, my ultimate right there, my right click explodes, killing 2 people instantly, and we wreck face. Just like that. Triple kill right just like that. Absolutely incredible. Take a look here. You can see my right click, my ultimate is there. Watch. Kaboom! 2 people die almost instantaneously. There's the enemy Fae using quenching scales, but it's not enough. It's absolutely unbelievable. That's the potential of the Fae to synergize not only with herself, but with other allies as well. And when it works, it's phenomenal. She has so much potential that is just really up to the player. The next card that we've got here is the Teleblink. What this does is you can use a very small amount of mana to blink forward and use your ultimate. So you can surprise the enemy and just go boof. Hello, I'm a Fae. And there you are, all under my ultimate getting grouped together. It's absolutely fantastic. And, of course, it can be used to escape. If you can see stuff coming, you can escape with it. Absolutely very good card for the Fae, as she has an issue with mobility. Again, you can't use it in a true emergency situation when you've been hit by an enemy for 5 seconds. But if you can see stuff coming, you can use it to really reposition yourself in a much more favorable light. Very powerful. Here is the siege till the end of the game, as you can see here, that we're just kind of really doing a good job. So again, I want you to see this amazing combo here with the Fae, with Gideon, with really any hero, guys. She is fantastic. So watch here as they come in. The Gideon gets a 3-person ultimate. I come forward, use my ult here. Here's my ult. I put my right click down. Watch as the 2 come up. And kaboom. There's 3 dead enemies. Sylphin. 3-person kill, guys. Potential is unreal. Just paying attention to when that ultimate can go off. There's the ultimate. Come together. Kaboom, there's my right click, and gone. Absolutely fantastic stuff with the Fae. She has the potential, guys. She really has the potential with the Teleblink to even get, to initiate more and to cover more ground, to really set up those plays. Very strong. Now, you just saw a small part of that build there because there's lots more. After you get that Teleblink, it's really up to you. This build is there's so many options, and that's what I absolutely love about it. Now you have the Barrier of Will to not only do you have a heal with the quenching scales, but you also have a shield here with the Barrier of Will. If you really need that as a true support for your team, get that. Or you can go for more utility with Ash of the Witch. Slow an ability hit that does proc every 2 seconds on her abilities, which even amplifies her Bramble Patch, her Harvest Nettles, her right click, her ultimate. It's insane. This is fantastic on the Fae. Basically makes her Bramble Patch a straight up root, to be honest with you. Straight up root. The Chronomancer disc, obviously 10% cooldown reduction, makes her abilities even more scary. You can do that more often. Really just absolutely incredible. After the Chronomancer disc, you actually get Thick Blood, because I am thinking as this Fey deck being a little bit more of a focus on the other kind of growth heroes that you see, like Chimera, Rampage, and Moragesh. Thick Blood, when on hit with ability, apply Blight to the enemy that reduces all healing by 40%. Fantastic. You can upgrade with power here. It's really, really good and will help cut down that regen of a Moragesh, and also Quenching Scales. When the enemy team support uses Quenching Scales, Thick Blood will cut its effectiveness, which obviously, since Quenching Scales is so popular, it'll really, really help. Then you replace your Sage's Ward with this Mage's Ward for a whole bunch of damage. The team focus, the support focus of this build, of this deck, is simply comes through the barrier of will, the Quenching Scales, and kind of the Thick Blood. The rest is damage. She's not a strict support. She definitely deals way more damage than your average support, and that's what we're emphasizing here. Final build, final deck, Barrier of Will, Ash of the Witch, Chronomancer disc, Thick Blood, Quenching Scales, and Mage's Ward. Of course, in the early game, you have your dummy ward here on the Brawler's Ward, and you have your Circlet of Health if you are in the off lane. We are going for the Archmagus as our prime card, just because, again, she has the potential to deal a lot more damage, and she's not really a strict support. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this deck. And, of course, as my new kind of style of hero decks and guides, please let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Please like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, guys, and of course subscribe. If you guys like this content, found it useful, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.